improve their ration status by
holding knapsacks
and haversacks of Federals. Yes.
You had a question, Clark?
Relative to the pullout, when's sunset, when's dark?
Dark is about 7 p.m.
Yeah. Sunset is 6:15, something like that. I don't have my almanac with me. One time I sat and figured all this out because I wanted to know that same question. But basically,
so they've got light to make this with.
Well,
drone.
that's a good question because there's an awful lot of smoke creating an awful lot of gloom. Here in Kelly Field, we're much more open than in the woods on either side. But once you got into the woods, it could be very dark. You know, it wasn't. Even though the day dawned bright, you know, and sunny, it was cold. The fog had burned off. There was a blood red sun, they said.
Son of Austerlitz.
Yes.
So the reports of the units are that they're widely scattered, or they mostly stay together as they make their way over to McFarland Gap.
They actually mostly stay together. They leave the battlefield in formation. Two of Colonel Robinson's regiments, the 68th and 101st Indiana, are actually pulled out of line by Thomas and sent to Horseshoe Ridge because they have ammunition. They haven't fired up all their ammunition. They have about 20 rounds a man. So they get the good deal of going back to Horseshoe Ridge to cover the final retreat from that sector. But by and large, these units march off the field in relatively good order, which means that all but one of the Federal infantry divisions is able to be reconstituted and ready for combat by the morning of September 21st, and they're all arrayed around the Rossville Gap. Van Cleve's division is with troops here and troops in various other parts of the field is perhaps the most scattered, and it won't be until the 22nd that Van Cleve's formations are officially ready for combat. Not sure I have anything else.
Some of the attacking Confederates, Polk's brigade of Cleveland's division, Gibson's brigade of Breckinridge's division. Some of the Confederates will make it all the way out to the Lafayette Road and bivouac along the Lafayette Road on the night of the 20th. And remark that passing horsemen on the road will stir up dust, which will settle on the sleeping form of those soldiers, sleeping intermixed with Union casualties laying along the side of the road. They are utterly exhausted as they reach the road that night. And then the next morning, and we're in maybe one of the best places to envision this, the next morning after dawn, Braxton Bragg and his headquarters staff leave their headquarters at Thedford's Ford, and they ride north. And somewhere to the south of here, they get on the Lafayette Road, and they ride north along the Lafayette Road. And as they reach the north end of Kelly Field, some of these men of Cleburne's and Breckinridge's divisions, and to the north, Liddell's division, who are right along the road, they see their commander, Braxton Bragg, riding north. They've driven the Union Army from the battlefield. And what do they begin to do? Cheer. For one of the few times in Bragg's tenure as Army commander, he is cheered. The troops of Breckinridge's and Cleburne's division and Liddell's division cheer Braxton Bragg that morning.
So I guess he asked the staff officer why they were cheering. What were they saying?
at that moment, he is beginning to realize that maybe he has won a victory. So he rides up to the McDonald farm to meet with Leonidas Polk. He asks Longstreet to come over, and then he begins to become a little upset because neither Polk or Longstreet at this moment are fully cognizant of the fact that they've won a victory. So not until late morning do they actually meet to discuss what to do. Well, I guess the last thing we need to do for this year's seminar in the woods, in addition to thanking David for once again organizing it, doing the hard part of organizing
This is the hard part.
Well, you take care of the administrivia. So is to poll you all here, the survivors of the venture, to see what ideas you might have for future programs. I did bring my notes. And I have my idea sheets, and I even have my now pretty complete chart of all the subjects that we have done since 2005. So is anything that we discussed yesterday or today that has brought to your mind something that might be a good subject for a future year, if not next year, maybe down the road. So.
Y'all ever done down at Benny or Denny? All that